This is top four. When you see this face and the other face that I'm just going to introduce next, you do know it is a football weekend, and especially today, this Saturday, Arsenal is taking on Manchester City, and also Liverpool is taking on Chelsea. Shilenje, how are you doing, man?
Fine, thank you, Simba. How is you?
Fantastic. Let's get on to that first game that we do know is happening today. Arsenal, Man City. Let me first start like this. What's your prediction?
Wow. That's a tricky one. I must say so.
But you gotta say it's tricky. I mean, just say it. If it's Man City 10, Arsenal 5, 1 or 3, we are fine with it.
Okay, I'm a bit hasty, but I'm seeing a situation where Arsenal have to avoid a defeat.
Yes.
They must avoid a defeat, whether it's a draw or a win for Arsenal, but Arsenal is not going to lose today.
Fantastic. Let's get into that. We do have Aubameyang coming back. He came back on the game against West Brom, and guess what? Got a hat-trick after a very disappointing preseason that got us talking. Yes, he played against Chelsea last weekend, but then was not that effective. Was brought in. That was effectively his first game after recovering from coronavirus. Do you think that he can actually give Arsenal the extra mark today?
He has to. Because he's the top guy, the top striker, the captain. He has to lead the team on the pitch to give wins, because Arsenal is at a very bad time when everything is not going for them. So he is the man that is going to lead Arsenal, and he has to boost the morale of the team.
Here's how I'm looking at it. Aubameyang right now, 32 years of age, he's got a couple of good seasons in him. I mean, he's not Ibrahimovic or Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, this has to be the season. But do you think that in the midfield, he's got those players who are going to push that ball to him? Do you think he's going to find those chances? Because Aubameyang now is that kind of a player who wants to be there in the box, make that run and receive that ball. When you look at Arsenal, do you think we have those players who are going to give him that ball today?
No, at the moment, you don't have. You have young players, so many young players, good talents, yes, but they're a bit raw, especially to the Premier League. They need games, or rather season, to get going, to have that fluid football, to be on their own. Because at the moment, you are creative players. They need a lot of guidance. They need a lot of mentorship. If you look at a guy like Odegaard, if you look at a guy like Smith Rowe, yes, they're good players, but these are the kind of players you cannot trust them week in, week out, and they are expected to feed Aubameyang with the ball so that he can score goals. So at the moment, yes, there are those players, but Aubameyang is going to struggle at the moment for service until such a time, perhaps deep into the season, when these players will have will be at a point where they are now in the team, they are able to play according to the structure of Arteta. That's when we can see a free-flowing Arsenal. But at the moment, yes, we need. Arsenal needs Aubameyang, but we're going to struggle for the first games.
I think we've gone 2 games without goals, and we do have another man who might come back. He was on the score sheet as well on that game against the West Brom. I'm talking about Lacazette. We do know, our natural number 9 in that team. And last season, yes, I mean, was among the top scorers as well in that team. Again, do you think then Arteta should say, maybe I should not fall into the pressure of playing Aubameyang in his preferred sport, and I have the 2 of them, have Lacazette and Aubameyang in that game, because we played with Martinelli, Balogun. It doesn't look like it's working in the latter stages of the season.
Of course he should. Lacazette is the guy. He's your number 9, and on a good day, I tell you, on a good day, Simba, Lacazette will give you a score.
He's a big game player,
of
that
course,
we do know, isn't
in
it?
these
Yes.
big games, he makes the difference. He has the energy. He can hold the ball. He can bully the defenders. He's a kind of a poacher who doesn't necessarily need so many balls coming his way. He's a guy who can hang in around the box. He can feed on the loose balls. He can feed on the headers. He's very sharp to detect any mistakes made by the defensive opponent. Those are the kind of balls he's able to feed on them easily, as rather opposed to waiting for creation of chances. And he's a guy you need at this moment. Arsenal really needs him. If he is in the box, is a bit dangerous. He doesn't give the defenders a choice to play. You see Man City builds their game from behind. They have game-playing defenders. So those City defenders, they need pressure. They need a striker who is with them there every instant so that they can make mistakes. And maybe, guess what?
All right.
You can benefit from them.
I know you've been hot and cold about the next person that we expect also to be fielded today, Martin Odegaard. He did miss that game against Chelsea because that's when he was going on with his visa issues. Now we do have him in the team, and boy, did you look at that assist against West Brom? Reminded me of Ramsey. I know you speak bad about this guy,
Yeah.
but yes, he's back. Would you expect him to play today? Talk to me about that. Do you think that's the spark we need? Those kind of assets. Somebody who's cool, calm, ready to read the game.
I don't expect so much from him. I don't want to give him pressure.
It's good. It's good.
He's a good player, but I feel like he still needs time to adapt to the English Premier League. This is the best league in the world, the league that is so physical, so fast, and they need just this player that are a bit lighter, who can run with the ball, who can press when they don't have the ball. And I feel like at the moment he's not very ready to play that kind of football, though. You have not to doubt him. He's a good player. He's already shown his signs. We've already seen flashes with that back heel from West Brom.
But it was beautiful.
It was.
Wishing somebody from Chelsea could do that. I've not seen it so far. And for me, when I look at him, if he can be able to do that composure, to read the game and say, well, we have to create something here, get defenders out of position. That's what we needed. And if you look at our Chelsea's second half, that's what we needed. Somebody to come in and show us exactly how it's supposed to be done.
I know that, but Simba, look here. Do you think City are going to allow him? They're going to give him that time to have composure.
Listen, West Brom didn't give him the time to do that.
No, they did.
It was a one touch. Get the ball, lose it. Get the ball, pass it. For me, that's the way that I look at it.
I know, but if you analyze the game against West Brom,
there
was so much distance between the players. There was so much spaces.
Would you say that probably that is the Arsenal's game? That in that game, we created the extra people when we need them? I mean, yes, you can run out the defense, but just creating the extra man in every position. Is that what we did against West Brom?
We need to see that again.
We need to see that against
City, because now there's an opponent who is possessing the game the same way Arsenal is doing.
Yes.
They're now playing the same as Arsenal. And I know today Arsenal is going to sit back. They're not going to possess the way they did against West Brom. They're going to be outpossessed by City. And what I think is they can hit them on the counters.
Yes.
If they have Aubameyang, who is quite fast, easy to run, and Lacazette and maybe Saka. Those three guys are very good in terms of counter-attacks. They can hit them on the counter, because City tend to forget themselves when they're in so much possession of the game. They tend to forget themselves, and they play so much on the opponent's half. They can give space and chances for Arsenal strikers to run into those spaces and perhaps cause them a problem. So Arsenal has to play on the counter attacks. But if they play an open game the same way they played against West Brom, guess what? You are dead, man.
Fantastic. All right, let's talk about Arsenal's defense. And here's the thing, you keep on biting Arsenal, but indeed we haven't seen the full preferred starting lineup for Arsenal this season under Arteta. Remember, Ben White did not play against Chelsea. We don't have Magalhaes, did not play against Chelsea. Let me talk about Tierney, did not clear his game against Chelsea as well. I mean, was the best player on the field that day, other than Smith Rowe. Let's talk about Ben White. He might come back today. Do you think, he's only played one game, do you think he might give us something against Man City?
Good player, yes. But I think not yet ready for.
But what would you say is not ready? He's been in the league. It's just not started yet.
Where was he?
Once you have Ben White, once you have Ben White, once you have Tierney, once you have Magalhaes back, that's a good defense, Shilenge.
You see, the issue Arteta is having here is that there's no stability in the defense.
But that's what he's trying to introduce.
Yeah, of course. When you're trying, you are liable to mistakes. That's very common in football.
But you gotta
when you're
try.
trying something, especially
Yes.
in
Ben
the
White-
defense, you are bound to concede.
That's it. But Ben White out, injured. Tierney out, injured. And you have Magalhaes as well out, injured. You gotta try something, and that's why we had to play with Cedric Soares and Rob Holding. But once these guys are back, we do know the ability of Magalhaes, we do know the ability of Ben White and Tierney. So once you have that back lineup being exactly what Arteta wants it to be, don't you think that we have a chance?
We have to ask ourselves another question again, that when these guys are fit, the four centre backs
Yes.
are both fit, what is Arteta's first choice?
But he has he has
first choice?
Tierney is a
first
first
11.
choice. Magalhaes is a first choice. Ben White has to be a first choice. So
You see
they are
now,
there.
you're saying it has to be.
They have to be a first
Yeah.
choice. Of course, if you look at even the amount of money that we spent to get them in.
So for me, I feel Arteta still hasn't found that good pair of partnership
but he's gonna
in
find
the
it.
central defense.
It's not by his doing, Shilenje.
Of
He's
course,
gonna find it. Yes.
He is. I
Yes.
don't deny that. He
Yes.
is. But Simba, look, for the time is still going to find out. We have to accept there are going to be liabilities. There are going to be goals Arsenal is going to concede. No wonder they have conceded already 5 goals. So for Ben White, I
Yes.
think Arsenal has to be patient with Ben White. He's going to...
Not judging by one game, his first performance was not really that good.
No,
isn't it? Yes.
he's a new player
Yes.
coming into defense. He's coming into a defense that has no stability. So likely you have to give him a chance and give him time.
Let's talk about another man that Arsenal is missing, Partey. Do you think against Chelsea we had a chance to cancel that midfield if indeed Thomas Partey was playing?
Partey...
Yes, of course, you can give me a yes. I need a yes from you.
Yes,
Yes.
but it's not a 50%. I mean, 100% yes, it's a 50, because since Thomas Partey arrived in Arsenal, we've only seen flashes of him.
But with injuries as well that have just befallen his tenure at Arsenal,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you can't expect him to hit full throttle with the injuries as well.
Yeah, but we have to ask ourselves again. When Partey was in Atletico is a very physical team, but he was rarely injured. Why is he getting injured at Arsenal? Is it tough? Premier League? Is he still adopting? Or what?
Would you say something that happens with the Arsenal players? I mean, that has been spoken as well. I mean, for me, it's down to luck, Shilenje. And that's why I keep on saying maybe this experiment that Edu and Arteta are trying to give us, it's not fully worked out, because you bring in a player, one player goes out. You bring in a good defender, another defender goes out. That, for me, is exactly what I can say about the situation. But big question to you, Shilenje, do you think Arsenal is still a big club? Well, history is with us as well. You can't expect that any manager is going to come in and sit and say, after 3 games, we have 0 goals scored in the league and 0 points. Question is this. If if Arteta doesn't win against Man City, is he going to be fired?
I don't think he's going to be fired.
Why?
But
would you fire him so?
If I was at Arsenal, if it was Arsenal,
Yes.
of course he goes. He goes. 3 games. This is Arsenal. I mean, the top team. 3 games, no goals, no points. That's unacceptable, actually. But with the hierarchy and structures of Arsenal, the way
Yes.
we've seen them do things, I
We still
think
expect him to sit.
there shall be pressure, but it's not going to leave.
How many games can you give him?
Arteta, I
mean,
give him 5.
we're going to Tottenham next. How many games can you give him?
No, of course he'll get points. You can't say that he's going to lose all the games, you know. As much as the team is in bad shape, but the players got to rise up to themselves. They have to say, man, we're not going to lose again to City, or whichever team that is coming. We have to get points, even if it's 1 point, even if we don't play good, but we have to get a point. Yeah, and that is what I feel. Arsenal players, leave alone the manager, but the players, that is the fighting spirit that they're going to have. And for sure, Man City have to be a bit worried about today's game.
I'm praying for that, man. All right, could you cross over to Man City? What are we looking at?
Yeah. Now when we come to City, Simba, City are in some tricky time where they don't have a recognizable striker apart from Jesus. They tried signing Harry Kane, it went south. They tried Cristiano Ronaldo. Last minute deal went to United. And now this is City, who look like prepared, are going into the season without a striker. Now, in this game against Arsenal, do you think a striker makes the difference between the teams?
It does, and to a greater degree. Let me just give you a bit of analysis, especially when you're looking at the players that you could call the top performers for Manchester City right now, especially when they cleared the 2020, especially when we are starting this season as well. All right, let me talk about De Bruyne, who we know we're going to talk about again, who's missing in this game as well. Out of the 181 appearances he's made for Man City, he scored 42 goals, assists 78. So you can see, when you look at Kevin De Bruyne, you gotta look at him in terms of assists as opposed to the goals, isn't it? All right, let's talk about Ike Gundogan as well. In that, he's appeared 132 times for City, scored 28 goals, assists 8. But if you remember towards the end of last season, we're talking about Gundogan as one of those players that you had to look into City to give you that result, which shows you that their top performers, they're not really goal-oriented. They are assist-oriented. They give you that stability. They give you that creativity, that presence, but not essentially
Giving you the goals.
Isn't it? So when you look at that, all right, let's talk about Jesus as well, who we do know now is expected to bring in those games and those goals. Now, Jesus has played last season, in the league, he played 29 games, isn't it? Scored 9 goals only. Think about that. Just 9 goals.
Yeah.
All right. In the Champions League, he played 7 games, scored only 2 goals. In the FA Cup, he played 5 games, scored 2 goals. In EFL, he played 1 game, scored 1 goal. So how do you compare this with the likes of Harry Kane that we're talking about, how Man City is missing them right now? Harry Kane had 19 plus goals, isn't it? Look at look at Jesus, 9 goals. Is that the person that you want to win the league with?
Can you hold on the thought just there before you go on? If you analyze the typical Guardiola, his teams, Oliver has been at Bayern Munich, at Barcelona. His teams usually don't have that typical number 9, but he does perform. I mean,
you can say that it doesn't perform, but look at the times that he's won the league. I mean, he had good strikers in that team. So that's the argument. I mean, the only reason as to why Chelsea almost never won the league is the same thing that I was telling you, is because you didn't have a good number 9 to give you those goals. That's the only thing. You gotta look at it from that perspective as well.
Wow. So for a second time, no De Bruyne today. And we have the £100 million man in Jack Grealish. Is he going to step up?
Yes, of course, yes. I mean, well, he scored a goal, isn't it? That's the only thing that we can look at. And if you look at his last game as well, his contribution was really steady. And remember, out of that game, yes, he was substituted, fine. But when you look at his average game, I mean, you're talking about a player who's coming into a new system, a new team. For me, when I look at it, I give him a 6.5. Not by the goal, not by the fact that he played, but how good he gels within that system. So I do expect that his level is going to grow game after game, and maybe after 2-3 games after this, it's going to be the Jack Grealish that we used to.
If you look at the analysis, the stats in the last 11 Premier League games, City have not lost to Arsenal any game in the last 11. They've only had 2 draws. Do you think that going in this game, that is something that gives them a big smile, knowing that, whoa, these guys, we always beat them?
Look, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm blurred. I mean, I will suffer with the team. But there's one thing that I don't get. This season, we have no chance. Yes, we got talent. It's the same thing that I keep on telling you. We got talent. But then it's when Arteta is trying to find his way out with this team. Regardless of the games that we played against Man City and the fact that we're going to Etihad today, I got nothing for us. I'm going in saying, let me see how individual players are going to play. And I keep on, it's a good thing that we're on the same page. You're routing for Arsenal. You're saying there's no way we can go 3 games, 0 goals, 0 points. Fine. but it's going to be possible today because I don't think Man City are going to give it to us now free. They've got good defenders, good midfield. What do Arsenal have? They've got a good midfield that is just talented. But do we have the experience? Do we have the maturity to go at it?
If City loses today, Simba, are they? Is their title defense in worry if they lose today?
They should not be worried. They are not title contenders per se. Because when we look
City?
at yes, let me argue. When you look at Chelsea right now, on paper and off paper, title contenders. When you look at Manchester United, off paper, on paper, title contenders. When you look at Liverpool, yes, we do know it's the Liverpool title contenders. Man City, where is your striker? what do you have? What does Man City have against Chelsea? What do they have against Liverpool? What do they have against Manchester United?
Wow.
The difference is just that striker. And I'm looking forward to seeing Man City, Liverpool, Man City, Man United. The difference is going to be a goal because these guys are better strikers.
For somebody betting today, where can he put his money?
Of course. Don't throw away your money. Just give it to Man City. You have $1 million, just give it to Man City.
Wow, that is where we ended for today, top 4. Remember, we wish you and ask you to subscribe to our channel, Top 4. This is where everything, the best football in the world, Premier League, we talk about it here, and we expect to see you after the game. My name is Eric Schlenje, and on the other side is Simba Charles.